Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Just like how they introduced me, I'm a lawyer, I'm a content creator, and I'm someone who has a purpose driven in form of undertaking any form of business in my life. But if you ask my family, if you ask my friends, they would say I'm a girl, any ordinary girl who just likes to stargaze, who likes to journal her thoughts, and who's sometimes nervous before a speech, and also someone who probably forgets her lines. So please bear with me. Today, before I start this session, I want to go down to the basics. You see TEDx here, right? Do you know what is the full form of TEDx? TEDx has a full form. If you're not aware of it, let me bring it to your notice. T stands for technology, E stands for entertainment, and D stands for design. Just like this abbreviation, I have something that I want to walk through with you today, and I call it STEM. STEM has helped me to adapt according to this fast changing world. You notice that there's so much happening around the world, but there's something that has to guide you through it, and that's what I want to talk about today. I want to walk you through the foundations of STEM. Let's start with the first, S. STEM. S stands for, S stands, it's a good that I gave a disclaimer because like I told you, I forget my lines. S stands for self-image. The way you talk about yourself to yourself, not to others. That's what self-image is. Let me give you a small example about self-image. You know our parents, how they treat their children? For example, how the parent tones the way they speak to their child, the language that they use, how they approach their children, describe self-image. For example, there's a kid, he or she is working on a Lego set and very frustrated, not able to complete it. The mother, sometimes, instead of helping the child, she would look at the child and say, keep going, you're getting there, you're a problem solver. You'll do it. Find out different ways on how you can do it. That way, when the child grows up and he encounters a very similar situation in his life, that sound that the mother grew the child up with becomes his inner voice. The child now will be like, I'm a problem solver. Whenever a tough situation comes in his life, he says, I'm a problem solver. Because what you tell to yourself becomes the sound of your inner voice. And that's very important. Second, T, thinking patterns. Your thoughts create actions out of yourself. How do you think is how do you act outside. I'll give you another example for thinking patterns. In a hospital setup, when everyone's doing a very important, some sort of an important surgery on a patient, a nurse, she might have made a small, negligible mistake, you say. And what does the doctor say at this point? He just corrects her. He tells her, correct your angle. Be a little bit precise. Right here, the doctor could have told her, or you could have brought out or pinpointed that, you were wrong in this, or why didn't you pay attention, or etc. But he didn't. He said, continue it, but just be a bit more precise. So the person undergoing the surgery had a successful surgery because everyone in that operation room concentrated on solution and not the problem. That is why whatever you say to yourself, whatever you think in your mind becomes what you do outside of yourself. We're done with 2 foundation blocks, self-image, thinking. The next is ego. Ego, a lot of people have different perceptions on it. Usually ego is only brought in relationships, but not when you talk to yourself. When anyone asks, why is your relationship going through a problem? The first used to be ego, but now it's finance. Everyone has a problem with how much and everyone's spending. But the first used to be ego. He has too much of ego. I have too much of ego. But I'm also here to talk about that, but about regarding yourself, right? Ego is the enemy, and you must eliminate it. And a perfect example of ego would be our fathers. Our fathers, they feel they know it all. They're better than Google Maps, they're better than Google. And while driving, if any of the immediate family member has to correct them, you missed a turn, he'll snap back because his ego is bruised. We need to understand one thing. True confidence comes from the ability to say that you don't know something. That's where it is. In the world where everyone shows I know it all, sometimes be the person and say, could you help me understand it a bit more better? Could you help me understand something that I don't know? That is why ego should be eliminated, and it should not be part of your daily lives. And it takes time to figure out all these things. It's not that I'm telling you day one all of this is going to apply in your life. You're going to work on this STEM foundation blocks that I'm going to give you today. And I hope you apply it as well. So, whenever you come across any situation apart from STE, the last one that I want to talk to you about today is mindset. What is mindset? I got another story for you. In 1960s, in the NASA facility, when the then John F. Kennedy president was walking down to the NASA facility, he saw janitor doing something on the side, and the then president walked up to him and said, "What are you doing? What are you up to?" The janitor looks straight back at the president and says, "Mr. President, I'm trying to put a man on the moon." That phrase of a janitor, that is mindset. He didn't allow something that he's working to describe what he can fulfill with his mind. He didn't limit himself. And if you ask, and if you want to know what kind of mindset that you are having today, typically there are only 2 types of mindset. One is a fixed mindset, and the other one is a growth mindset. I'll give you a little bit of introduction in both, so you can decide as of today which category you belong to. Do you belong to the fixed or do you belong to the growth? A fixed mindset is someone who others' desires become their desires, whose others' opinion become their opinion about themselves, whose others' wants and needs become their primary tasks. They are always dependent on people around them. But what is a growth mindset? A growth mindset is someone who looks up to other people's success and says, how can I be the other person? A growth mindset is someone who asks questions rather than saying, I know it all. A growth mindset is someone who adapts to situations and not let situations decide them. These are your two mindsets. And if you belong to the fix-it mindset, please understand that you're limiting yourself to not new experiences. You're not going to experience anything much new in your life. But if you belong to the growth mindset, you give a desire to embrace new challenges. You see the path to mastery. And that is why if you change the label of your mind, you change the value of your life. That's it. STEM for you today. STEM, self-image, thinking patterns, ego, and mindset. So I welcome you to this contemplation that I want to share with you all. It's time we update our lexicon. We live in a VUCA world. What is VUCA? Vulnerability, uncertainty, catastrophe, and ambiguity. We need to keep updating the stems in ourselves in order to face all the challenges that the world throws at us. That's about it. So go back home, apply the stems in your life, and see the changes that brings to your personality, to the dreams that you want to achieve. So let's stop seeing our shortcomings as walls and use our learnings as bricks to build oneself. This is what I truly invite you guys to reflect on. Thank you, and let's awaken together.